Hi, everybody. Thank you for once again joining me on my journey as I go through my favorites list on fanfiction.net. I hopefully this video comes out at the right time. I'm recording it and I'm going to be editing these together. So, hey, like I said, I'm going to get at least two of them out to make up for the fact that it's been almost a month since I posted the previous ones. But yeah, let's just go in. If you don't know what I'm doing, just again, got a whole bunch of stories from my favorites list that I've been reading in order by publication date, seeing if they still deserve to stay on my list or not. I'm going to be posting them in the description so you can get links so you can read them yourself, see if you agree with my opinion. But, I have a bunch of these that have not aged well, or just I've added them to my list when they were still getting updates and they just haven't gotten updates and are not worth the time investment anymore. So let's just dive in. First story is Waiting for Godot, Harry by apAidan. And this is a Harry Potter story that takes place right at the tail end of the Deadly Hallows, but when Harry would walk out and let himself get killed by Voldemort. And basically there's a small change that happens here that leads to a happier end for our heroes, Hermione, Harry, and Luna. Sadly, we don't really get to see any of it. This story is basically just two scenes. One is that scene, the change at the beginning, right when Harry's about to go let himself get killed by Voldemort. That scene is changed, and it's one scene. And then the other scene is literally just them at when they're dead, years and years later, and then they just go to the afterlife together. Like, that's a super small bit. It's mainly just that first scene. It holds because it's just that, like, that first scene holds a little bit of emotional weight because it's like, oh, like, you do love me or whatever, and like love potions come in and it's like, no, you purged it, I do care about you and stuff, and it is like the beginning of their relationship. But it does involve a lot of exposition, and since it's only like a single moment, they don't have that big of an impact as a montage would. So in the end, this is a perfectly serviceable story that you'll probably read once, enjoy it at the time, and then probably forget about it within a week. So it's not going to stay on my list. Next is From Zero to Infinity by Nitramy. And this is a Familiar Zero fic where Louise, on the day of the Familiar summoning, instead of summoning, Saito, she summons Lord Genome after all the shit of the Gurren Brigade and stuff has been happening and stuff. So it's post show, I guess. And then she also starts harnessing the power of both the Void and the Spiral. This is okay. It's fine. There's a couple interesting tidbits, and there's a bunch of, like, drops, like, that we get to see that would have paid off later, but, as the story stops with the mission to Albion, there's just, we just don't get to see a lot of it. Lord Genome is a strong personality that sidesteps all of the hurdles that Saito goes through and a lot of the problems that I have with those kind of, like, playful abuse harem animes, because that just does not happen. But this just wasn't that compelling to me. I found it fine to read, but I'm not gonna come back to this a second time. Not just because of the lack of payoffs for the interesting bits that are way later, but I just wasn't really, investing myself into this story. So you can give it a look, but I don't think it's really worth your time, or it's not really worth super investing, and it's gonna fall off my list. Okay. Number 3 is Lessons with Hagrid by NothingPretentious. And basically after... This is a Harry Potter fic where after Harry gets kicked out of Occlumency, I think that's how you say it, Occlumency lessons by Snape, Hagrid takes him up and teaches him. And basically, this is just Hagrid showing him a huge array of different animals and beasts that Harry decides to fill his mind up with as a defense from Voldemort. And then we jump to Voldemort trying to possess him at the Department of Mysteries, and it doesn't go well for him. It's simple, short, but pretty forgettable, similar to the first one, except more in the comedy section, where it's like you'll read it once and then you'll move on. I don't see myself returning to this at all, and it's not going to stay on my list. Alright, next, number 4, is My Little Chrono Triggers Are Magic by Pavera. And this is his Chrono Trigger with the main 6 replacing the main cast of the game. I've never played the original game, so I don't know how faithful this is or how exact everything is, but I really started to get into the story as it progressed. Like, granted, the first little section, I was kind of like, whatever, let me just finish the story. But as it kept going, and it got to the later sections, that's when the characters get fleshed out a bit more, and we get more bits that are just really fun, and I really enjoyed it. Like, you know, it sadly isn't complete. We don't even get to see the full party together, but there is a lot for you to dig through here, as, you know, this is a retelling of a JRPG, and it reworks the main 6 into the story rather well. You can still see how it's not just a character replacement where the main 6 are only, you know, those characters in name only, where in reality there's that. Like, I really see how the show characters match with the characters in this thing, so I can see the connection of why people were picked to be whatever, or at least maybe their characters were changed to fit their spot. But if they do feel like the actual characters from My Little Pony. I just really had a lot of fun with this, even if we don't get to see the full story. Not sure how much of it is just like the fact that Chrono Trigger has a great story or stuff like that, or just, you know, the author's input. But either way, I really enjoyed this, and I think like anybody who likes a JRPG story will probably, especially Chrono Trigger, will obviously find a lot to enjoy here, even if it's not complete, and it's going to stay on my list. Alright, number 5 is The Best Night Ever by Cap'n Chrysalid. And here's another MLP take on another property. This one is Groundhog Day. And it takes place over the night of the Season 1 finale, which is the Grand Galloping Gala. But we get a new perspective, because our main character is somebody who we, or at least I, definitely do not see much about. Prince Blueblood is our main character. And it's interesting because basically he's just, especially in Season 1, he was just a single joke character that was meant to just be an asshole. And here it just actually gives him personality and a bit of humanization, or ponyization, whatever. But like, it makes him more of a character, and it makes him interesting. You know, the story itself follows the plot of the movie to a T, basically, just like him doing whatever he wants, and then going crazy and killing himself for a bit, or just indulging himself, then trying to do the perfect run that doesn't work, and then he tries to do a more natural run and finds himself happy. Like, you know, it's the same story as the movie. I don't think it'll blow anyone away if you and if you don't have any familiarity with My Little Pony, you probably won't be too interested in this. But I enjoyed the movie. I did enjoy this retelling a lot, and I found it to be a lot of fun. You know, like I said, I don't think, if you don't like My Little Pony at all, or you don't know anything about it, you probably won't like this, and especially if you're not connected to the movie at all. But I liked it. I feel like if you like My Little Pony, even if you don't know about the movie, you'll enjoy this a lot, and it's going to stay on my list. Right. Number 6, this is a long one, is Piecing the Fragments by Wraith Windsor, or Winsray. And this is a Persona 3 time travel fic that's set after a multitude of series of trips back. Like, basically, it's stated at the start that this one goes to the Femme main character for Persona 3, and that she's been trying to loop back and fix this multiple times, and it's not working, and it's basically degrading her sanity, and she's about to break, so it's like she's got one last chance to try and fix this, otherwise she's gonna die. And I think the concept is fine, but the writing format that's here throws me off a bit. The story was undergoing a rewrite, but the author only got through like half the chapters before that, so it's a bit of a mixed change of like delivery, because like the first chapters are written really oddly. I feel there's a lot of there's very little setup. It just drops you into scenes, and you just gotta piece together where it is. There's no text of who's talking after dialogue bits, so you have to context clue your way into figuring out what the who's talking in the conversations. And it's like a lot, and there's a lot the reader has to know about the story because of all this vagueness. If you have not played this game and beaten this game, you will be completely lost. Like, because there's no context. It drops you right into the story. It expects you to know what the final goal is. It expects you to know, okay, oh, they're talking, it's these two characters talking about this location, that must be this point in time. And it's like, it's really not great for ease of flow and ease of reading. I've just had so much problem connecting, and that's the first like half of this story. The other which was because of how he was rewriting it. The other parts are a little more like standard with like the second half is the format was still the same with like, you know, days and a lot more concreteness in where everything was happening, but it's a lot to get through. There's not I'd say give this a look and see if you will go through it, like see if you can understand what's going on and are liking how the first like 5 or 6 chapters treat you. And if you do, maybe continue on and maybe you'll enjoy this. I just the format just pushed me off too hard, and it kept me from really getting into this story, which is sad because, again, Persona 3 is one of my favorite games of all time, and I'm sad, but this is going to have to fall off my list because of its unwieldy writing format. Alright, and the last one for this video is Aperture Science Bloodstream Portal Enhancement by Aussie Scum. Oh boy. This, not for the story, just the title. So this is basically a simple Naruto gets a bloodline story. Starts at the Wave mission where he would, Naruto accesses the Kyuubi's chakra for the first time, and, instead, GLaDOS shows up and unlocks a bloodline where he can, use portals and shit. There's a whole bunch of exposition and other normal stuff when dealing with an OP Naruto, such as, saving Haku and Zabuza, bringing them back to the Leaf to be there. And then we get a few scenes of Sasuke bashing and the first test of the Chunin exams, and then the author just stopped updating. So there's nothing really of note here. There's no really amazing, interesting scenes. Nothing that's super amazing. There's no super cool fight scene or super interesting development. No super fun jokes or anything here. It's just generic OP Naruto fic that never really got past a few chapters. You can skip this without worry, and it's gonna fall off my list. And there we go. Finished another video, and like I said, hopefully this will come out quick enough. Should be, because I'm going to be editing both these at the same time. But yeah, it's done, and I'm good to go. Fanfiction status time. 640 stories have now been read, and 318 of them have stayed on my list. There we go. Thank you so much for watching. As always, leave a like if you like, and subscribe if you want to get notified when I put these out. I swear I'm trying not to keep spacing these out because I don't want to be doing this for the next 5 years. I want to be able to finish this within the next 2 years. But yeah, get notifications when they come out. Please, links to all the stories are in the description, as well as a link to the forum where I post these in a written form if you want to see that, as well as embedding the videos, so you can watch them there as well and go through all of it. Link to a playlist of all the stories that I've read, all the videos, as well as a link to my fanfiction.net profile. If you want to check out, what's still on my list or what's coming up, please give it a look. It'll mostly be what's coming up because I'm going to be doing it on the main site, which limits it to 500 favorite stories for some reason. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.